All right, today is November 3rd, 2015, and I just wanted to go over the daily lessons and a recap and highlight what is working for students. Tomorrow, I have a live trading webinar for my trading challenge students, so I'm going to be a little MIA in the chat room. I still might be doing trades. I'll give commentary when I can, but just so you know, like the past few days, I've really ramped up my activity in the chat room. I think I had like 3 or 4 dozen different commentaries today, and I'm trying to answer more questions. But tomorrow morning, I've got my webinar, just so you know. Today's big play of the day was BNSO from the ones to the threes, and it was just a fantastic low flow earnings winner. I totally missed it. I miss a lot of these first day runners. I should be better. I missed VSCP the other day. I have no excuse whatsoever, but I'm glad that a lot of you guys are simply spotting the big percent gainers right near the market open or pre-market and, buying near the market open. And, these things can really run, as you see. I got to give props. Carlos Cortez gets the tweet of the day. He said, "These past 2 days, I'm up almost what I would have made in a month in my last job. I love comparing the two." Thank you, Tim Sykes. So when I first made my $1 million, roughly $1 million in college, and I was like comparing myself to like NBA players, because I made most of my money within 4 months. That's awesome that you can do this, but don't feel like you have to do this every day. You're comparing apples and oranges. A job is 9 to 5. You work your butt off and you get paid. Trading, sometimes you don't have to work your butt off. By the way, the ringing in the background is my dog playing with a little toy. But that's awesome, Carlos. I don't want to rain on your parade. I just want you to be careful comparing trading to a normal job, because it might lead you to, feel like you have to work so hard to get paid. And that's what you do on a normal job. Trading, you can make a lot of money if you just have the right preparation and have put in a lot of time into studying. It's not a linear relationship. Sometimes, you have to work a lot, but sometimes, you can make just a lot of money even when I'm traveling or when you're traveling. A lot of people say, "Tim, why do you travel so much? You got to trade." Well, actually, I trade better while traveling. Today I was not traveling, and I think I probably over traded a little bit. I don't know how many trade alerts I gave. And that's bad for me. But just sharing that with you. Josh said slow trading day for him. Only one trade, speculative dip buy. He made $200. Hey, that's cool. There'll be days like that. You don't have to think that every single day is going to be big. Here's Roman. He bought SALE, which was a good earnings winner on the dip. SALE actually turned out to be a fantastic earnings winner on the dip here when it broke above 980. And really even like 10 or 1020. When do you buy these earnings winners? Well, that's what I love about buying earnings winners near support. You can see here it tried to get above right here at like 10 back in October, and it failed. So you can use 10 as a guide for a breakout. So had I been watching this, and I wasn't, because I just saw it drop from 11 down to 9.8. And I was focused on too many other trades. Maybe buy this breakout here, but really wait and see. You're heading into midday. It's tough. It's tough for me to really buy this because the breakout, is at 10, which is right here, but that's just before noon. You don't usually see a lot of lasting earnings runners midday. This turned out to be the exception, but that's the main reason why I didn't buy that. ATEN is one that I did buy because this was an earnings winner that I underestimated when it broke former monthly resistance here at 940 yesterday, or 740, excuse me, and it went all the way to 790. So it was a nice 50 cent a share breakout. Now 740 should act as support, and that's pretty much exactly what happened. 740-ish. I actually got in here in the 750 range, and we got a nice uptrend to 775. It was a little too slow for me, so I got out, and I made, I don't know, 10 or 15 cents. It was just trying to show you, some trades I do because I really think they're gonna make a lot of money. This was more of an educational example. I knew that I was going to be making this video lesson. So when do you dip buy earnings winners? Well, you can either buy the breakout here at 740, which was yesterday. And I know several of you did. I specifically did not because I was like, this is just not a volatile stock. And then it went to 790, and I learned, this could be a volatile stock. But then today, you usually get a second chance. And it closed at 756. I would love to see 740 again. I would love to see it fail 740, and maybe freak people out who think that 740 support is going to hold, and maybe it come down to, where there's more support in here at 720. That would be where I'm looking to buy tomorrow. We'll see if it gets down there, but that's how I look to dip buy earnings winners. Yeah. Here is Nate, made 800 on BNSO in 30 minutes, thanks to the chat room. Awesome. Brandon made $779 in profits. Freaking awesome. Sujanto made 500 bucks on BNSO. And Mark Crook was banking on Plug, and he was trading on his way back from his honeymoon. Congrats again to Mark. There's so many more of you. Hollywood Danger, made nearly $2 a share. Freaking awesome. 2,500 bucks on AVXL. User 787 made a little on XOMA. Peter Boxio banked. Dugaduke shorted AVXL and made $1 a share. I want to go over that real quick because I actually partook in this trade too. So this is a popular stock in the chat room. Obviously BNSO was the big earnings winner today, and you can see that big spike. The only time to really buy that kind of a play is near the market open. I wouldn't even be chasing it in here, and I'm not long right now. It might come up, it might come down, you never know. It was like very much like VSCP the other day where you had a huge morning spike, and it's kind of been trailing off ever since. But BNSO was the big winner. XOMA was a huge winner today from the 150s to 2. If you're not following, this was a clean breakout above 140. This isn't exactly my chart, my kind of a chart, but I'll tell you whose kind of a chart it is, and that would be Tim Grittani. So you should be following Tim Grittani, Croy Runner 89, and he said this yesterday, if you were following, and sometimes I just follow, I know you shouldn't follow anybody's alerts, but I follow his Twitter feed. And, I learn and see, what is the single most successful trader of the past few years thinking. And this was yesterday. XOMA finally got the multi-day breakout. Hopefully it can hold the trend through midday. And I don't know, how he did, but I'm guessing he did pretty damn well. He basically nailed that 27% winner. But what was I talking about? I have craziness today. Way too many trades. AVXL. So this has been hotly debated. Some people say it's a pump. The science behind it is all fiction. They're like on TV ringing the bell. They have like models. You have this big newsletter company, Agora, which is, spreading it throughout like 17 different newsletters. And it all leads to a giant freaking run up. Remember, I was buying this right here on this red day. If you remember, buying it on the dip. And all the short sellers were like, oh, how could you buy this? It's such a bad quality company. Well, that was also Tim Grittani's idea, and it turned out to be fantastic. And now the stock has nearly or doubled 2.5 times since that price. I don't know where the top is, but I am looking for signs of topping. And today, I wasn't shorting into the morning spike. But I did catch a little of this, and I shorted it. I didn't catch it at 14. I didn't catch it at 14 or 13.50 or 14.50. What I did was, short it right in here in the 13.20s when it looked like it was going to go red on the day. Because when you have this kind of a morning panic on an overextended stock, it's very much like my Sykes trades example. If you go to Timley/Sykes trades, and you will see this pattern where I have live videos of how these stocks, well, first I showed a little things, but something like this, where obviously this is a blatant pump, so it's a little different, but you have this morning panic, and I love shorting these morning panics, and that's what I did successfully today, shorting in the 13s and covering in the mid 12s, capturing nearly $1 a share of profits. That was very nice. And then I retried to short in here, but it was choppy in the afternoon. Wasn't sure if it was going to break out. I love shorting morning panics, and shorting a double top, sure, that's a possibility, but don't try shorting right at the top here. I know it's worked a few times on this where you could, short it at 14.50, 14.75. E-Trade had shares, by the way, in case you're wondering which broker has shares to short. But you risk a lot, shorting right at the top. I really like shorting when it's a little off the top. It had already dropped $1 a share when I shorted here, and it dropped, another dollar a share. And then I shorted in here after it was already down nearly $1 a share. And it got a little crack, but not much. And I covered basically break even. Um, that's how I like to short. And that's a much safer way of shorting rather than just shorting into absolute strength and madness because you never know how far this can go. This can hit 20 tomorrow. I don't think it will. I don't think it's valued that high. But crazier things have happened. This is a short squeeze, and I see all these people taking a stand, being like, "Oh, this company is BS. It has to go down. I'm gonna go big," And I remember Tim Grittani's, biggest loss when he was taking a quote a stand. Never take a stand, okay? I hate these freaking gunslingers who, make this something personal and about valuation. It's not personal. It's just price action. And I don't want any of you taking a stand, being like, it's either me or the market. I'm going all in. Like, that's stupid. Trade like a coward and stay in the game. I've seen too many traders over the years blow up, no matter how smart they are, no matter how much they've worked, because they make it personal and they say this stock cannot go any higher or this stock cannot go any lower. Yes, it can. It can do whatever the hell it wants. And you're not going to stand in the way, you and your small account, or even if you have a big account. So let this thing go as high as it wants, but be looking for signs of topping like I was. So this was a good trade by Dugaduke, made $1 a share. The Throne made nice 10% on BNSO. And Freeland made nearly $1,000 on BNSO, just betting like 2,000. That's freaking awesome. And then traded again. So many people on BNSO, 230 to 280, 230 to 290, 260, and sold at 264 from entrance at 2, so made 20%, $3,200, pretty nice. Kevin Cha made, or Kevin CH made 1,100 on the day, which is cool. But this is pretty sweet. He started an account 2,500 last Tuesday. Just to help you understand, how fast you can grow this stuff. Here's Andrew making $200 in 10 minutes. Hudson Trades made 700 on another earnings winner, LMNX. Rec 74 made $1 a share on SALE, the earnings winner. I like this. NCM thanked me for my How to Make Millions DVD and made his first successful trade on Zoma. And then the Wolf of Orlando FLDM, which was my buy alert the other day, he finally locked in profits of 1,400 today, and then total around 2,500. If you remember, FLDM was my earnings winner buy, and I was dip buying it in here in the 880s, which turned out to be the single best time to buy this stock. And I sold way too soon. But it just keeps going. And, that's the beauty of buying these earnings winners. Sometimes I exit too early, but sometimes I play it safe. Like Tizu today, it was a breakout above this multi-month resistance here at 990. So I was buying it early, and it was choppy. It tried a few times to really spike and really squeeze. Here 1025, here the high was 1037, and here the high was 1035. And I was buying it in this chop in the low tens. But then, I didn't even realize, like, I made a stupid mistake. This is why I think today I just overtraded. They were announcing a conference call, and I never want to hold stocks through a conference call. And I don't know what was said. I don't care what was said. But the conference call started here, and it probably lasted here. So it wasn't a very good conference call, or the reaction wasn't. But then an interesting thing happened. It actually did come back up, and it was a nice $1 a share bounce late day. This is just a tough play. Like the breakout level is 980, 990. It does that, but then it can't really break out. Then you have the conference call, which just, no one really reacted well. And then you got an all-day uptrend. So, it's not an exact science. Sometimes earnings winners are going to run. Sometimes they're not. SALE, again, it would be tough for me to buy this. So I don't even really regret, not partaking in SALE. and BNSO I probably should have been in. VSCP, this earnings winner is coming way down because it's just going up so much. So lots of plays, earnings winners, pumps. I need a freaking nap. But tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, all you Trading Challenge students, I want you in the Trading Challenge room, and we will be doing a live webinar, and we should have a few good trade setups. So congrats everybody on the good day. If I didn't call your name, hopefully at least you're still learning. I don't feel like you have to make money every day. Don't feel like you have to make money any day. It's okay just to sit back and learn. A lot of these stocks, I mean, this is scary. We're trading the most volatile stocks. So just keep learning, keep watching, and eventually, you'll start seeing the angles. My How to Make Millions DVD, Tim Grittani's Trading Tickers DVD, Penny Stocking and Penny Stocking Part 2, I think would be the 4 DVDs that I would watch at first to get these patterns and really come to grips with, what is an earnings winner? Why are these stocks so volatile? What is the opportunity, long and short? But if you prepare and you see example after example after example, even when I don't time things right, perfectly, I'm still on the right track. It's not a coincidence that I'm on the right track with most of these stocks because everything that I teach, everything that I do has been refined over 16 years of me doing this stuff. So I hope I can pass some lessons down to you. When I first started, I was very, very confused. I had no mentor. I had no guide. There was no book written about this stuff. And now, 3,000 video lessons and over a dozen DVDs later, I think I've cataloged every catalyst, every chart pattern, when to trade, when to buy breakouts, when to short sell, position sizing, which brokers. Right now, E-Trade and Interactive Brokers are the only 2 brokers that I'm going to be using to begin 2016 with. I'm trading with just a $12,000 account so that you can see me grow it gradually. I know that today I was doing a lot of intraday trading. When I trade with a small account, that will lessen. I'm a trading addict too. I come down hard on trading addicts and degenerate gamblers. I'm no different. I'm like an alcoholic bartender. I just recognize that I have a problem and I have to control it. And I want to try and help you control it. So trading with a small account, I know many of you, you're like, oh, I have such a small account. I just can't wait to get bigger. Well, there's no rush, okay? Because you can learn a lot with a small account and you can actually do better. I'm really looking forward to going back to my roots and, refining my technique, being more patient, being more disciplined. There's no way that I should have, I don't even know how many trades I did today, like 4 or 5 in and outs, 4 or 5 day trades. And that's just stupid. You can definitely choose better trades, or I can definitely choose better trades. And, I know the pattern day trader rule sucks, but, if you hold overnight, then it's not a day trade. And, you can do an overnight trade every single day. I know many people don't want to do overnight trades, but if you partake in the right patterns, you're good. A lot of you guys this morning, when I got into the chat room, you're all looking at earnings. And I specifically said, don't try and guess earnings ahead of time. The stock has had a huge run ahead of earnings, which never bodes well for a stock that's never held its gains. And sure enough, I don't care what they said on earnings. I don't care what they said on their conference call. The stock tanked. And a lot of you are like, when should I buy it? When should I buy it? And you don't understand that this is no longer an earnings winner. It was an earnings winner, down here at $1.80, $1.90. It did as good as could be expected. Better. This was best case scenario. But now, in reaction to earnings, it's bad and it's overvalued. And we've seen this happen, if you go back several years. It's done this a lot. It spikes up and then it crashes. 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 So don't be in such a rush to, buy a stock like this that's tanking in reaction to earnings. Focus on stocks that are spiking in reaction to earnings. Even though Tizu wasn't perfect today and the long-term chart is terrible, it still kind of finished near its highs for all the weirdness. SAAS, which was an earnings winner the other day, right here. This keeps uptrending. ACRX was another earnings winner right here, this big spike. And this one keeps uptrending. So earnings winners can really go for several days, but focus on them. Focus on stocks that are up a lot. I don't know why it works, but it just does. trust me, I'm not trying to mislead you. I'm trying to teach you. I want more millionaire students. So it's in my own best interest to make you as smart and, get you as rich as possible so that you become my next millionaire student. I'm not trying to mislead you. I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, let's trade these stocks that get crushed after earnings. No, follow the rules. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. I've laid everything out. I've spent my entire life, the past 8 years now, outlining all this stuff. And as you see, I'm not perfect by any means on my trades, but I think that I've done a pretty damn good job cataloging everything and, buying earnings winners and shorting pumps and shorting speculative tops. That's really good. So I'll see you Trading Challenge students for the webinar tomorrow, and I will see everybody else in the chat room after the webinar. Thanks. My name is Tim Sykes, and I teach people to trade stocks. I am a self-made multimillionaire.
So this is the ideal trade that I'm going to talk about. I want you guys to understand every single aspect of this trade.